Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus and welcome to another analysis video. On the agenda tonight we have Tommy and Phil Emmanuel, and this is coming from 2001 and it's just them playing together, jamming out lots and lots of different tracks. So let's get these guys up on screen and see how they get on. I'm just going to jump in here. It's obvious that they're just having such a whale of a time on stage, and when they ended up playing each other's guitars as well, the thing to notice here is the amount of technical ability that's on show. But just a quick word on Phil. Unfortunately, he's not with us anymore, but he was a few years older than Tommy, and he was just a top player in his own right. He played with so many other top players. Chet Atkins was in there, played with Willie Nelson. You could really see those country techniques that he throws together, just absolutely breathless playing in passages here, whilst Tommy's actually supplying that rhythm. And Tommy's supplying such great rhythm, but they're both all over the place in terms of where they're going, switching between chords and lead lines. I don't mean they're all over the place in terms of they don't know what they're doing. They absolutely know what they're doing. And this is absolutely years of jamming together, and we just get to see the result of that. And it's great to see when players have got it so down and they just know each other so well that they can have such a great time whilst they're playing. I say it on other videos where some players really have to concentrate on what they're doing when they're playing and don't necessarily look like they're enjoying it that much. But when you get two really top players like we've got here, they're just playing with ideas and just messing around with those different roles of playing rhythm and then playing lead and just throwing it across to each other. Sometimes they play lead at exactly the same time, and that's usually a recipe for disaster because you totally lose the groove or the rhythm of what's going on. But let's have a listen to it a little bit more. I'm just going to jump in again because that was a prime example where they're both playing lead lines and then they always get back into that rhythm in the end. What I love about that little switch that they had, Tommy just looked at Phil and just through the eyes, that's how they're communicating in terms of saying to each other, right, you take the lead on this next part. And when you're watching Top Guys, that's all it needs, just a little look. All of these tiny little bits of body language say so many things. If you don't play and you're not used to watching it, it can just fly under the radar and you can just sit back and enjoy it. But then when you look at it in a little bit more detail, you can see all these little smiles and winks and little looks that just mean everything when you're playing and jamming along with another top player and just throwing together some really top technical playing there. Phil especially, he does a 3-string sweep there, just throwing together some really cool little lines, and then Tommy does exactly the same lines again, and Tommy playing it on acoustic guitar as well. Really impressive. I did another video on Tommy where he absolutely nails everything that he plays on the acoustic with alternate picking and so much going on that some people struggle with just on an electric guitar, let alone on an acoustic. Let's just fast forward it a little bit. Pretty much everywhere in this you'll find a really great piece of playing. It doesn't really matter where we jump to. I'm just going to jump in here again. This is obviously where the string goes on Tommy's guitar, but it's great because it's just like watching two kids. You can tell that they've this is just what they used to do, maybe just sitting in their room, just jamming out together and finding all the TV shows and all the themes that they loved and just learning to play them on guitar. I've just queued the video forward to have a little look before we finish at them both playing on the same guitar, 12th Street Rag. So let's have a little look at this. And there we go. It's just a really cool little piece, but also you can see the way that Phil is smiling because he can't see anything that's going on while he's playing. But in amongst that, just have a little look at his alternate picking technique. He's actually doing some super speed here, you know, really accurate picking whilst playing, even when then Tommy's arm is totally across Phil's chest, so he can't see what's going on. He still keeps it pretty consistent. Obviously, his fretting hand is now a little bit lost because he doesn't know where he is on the guitar. But that technique down at the bottom, really pushing the tempo on that alternate picking. Like I mentioned earlier, this is such a great performance and they're having such a great time, but don't let the technical ability fly under the radar. I'm going to put the link to this in the description below so you guys can check out the whole video if you want to. It's just over 14 minutes, but the whole thing is really cool to watch. Thank you so much for suggesting this video for me to take a look at in the first place. Keep those suggestions coming in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Rock!